Hi and welcome to your online Pilates class. Today I'm going to do this session as a restorative class. So we're going to focus quite a lot on the breath. We're going to do lots of work to settle, calm the nervous system, release tension from the body, and then use that to move the body in a really kind of nourishing way to help ease stress and tension at this time. Okay, let's go. We're going to begin lying on our backs. So with your feet on the floor, you're going to lie your arms beside you, palms facing towards the ceiling. Now, if you choose to put you in a more restful position, you're welcome to take the feet a little bit wider and let the knees roll in, resting onto one another. So we're thinking as we lie here, close your eyes if it feels like it helps you to connect. We're wanting to feel as though the tensions and the stress in the body starts to leave. So we're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And as we do that, we're going to see if we can focus our attention a little bit to the chest and the belly, noticing and feeling them rise and fall with the breath. You might choose then to take a moment to focus on how you're breathing. So we could breathe in through the nose, sending the breath upwards and outwards towards the armpits. And as we breathe out through the mouth, feeling as though we empty the lungs completely, which will help our rib cage to rest and settle on the floor or the mat. Taking a couple more like that, getting used to that type of breath pattern. Breathing in deeply until you feel you can't fit any more air in, upwards and outwards to the armpits. And breathing out through the mouth, really full breaths until you feel as though you've emptied the lungs completely. And noticing what that does to your rib cage position. One more like that, full inhale, upwards and outwards to the armpits. And out through the mouth. See if you can adjust your breath work then, taking the breath to your tummy. Breathing in, letting the belly rise like a balloon, expanding towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, again, the full exhale until there's no breath left in the body. And noticing that the belly sinks and flattens as you do that. Taking your time to do that a couple more times, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Taking the time to make sure that breath is audible. And maybe now starting to recognise that one version of the breath might feel more natural to you than the other. We can practice then taking that breath to more of a 360 degrees, sending the breath as you take it in anywhere and everywhere in the body, letting it expand and move through the body. And when you feel as though you've taken that breath completely, see if you can't squeeze a little bit more air into the lungs right at the end there. Take a moment then, feeling full with air to hold that breath before you then release it away. And release that breath away without forcing it. So it doesn't need to be a strong blow through the mouth. It can just feel like a gentle release as you open the mouth to let it away. And let's go through that a couple more times then, breathing in deeply and fully if you can. Really taking the time to try to send the breath to areas of the body where you know perhaps you hold tension. So that could be your neck and shoulders. It might be your lower back. It could be in your pelvis, for example. And try and feel as though you're moving the breath into those areas. Taking that time to hold the breath just for a little bit longer than might feel normal. and then releasing the breath away. And you can switch that breath up a little bit. You could take the breath in really fully, expanding deeply, and then letting the breath go and actually paying more attention to, at the end of the breath, when you've emptied the lungs completely, taking a moment there, feeling as though you're just letting the body rest and relax in that position, and not being too quick to feel as though you want to take the breath back in again. And just before it starts to feel too uncomfortable, then allowing yourself that deep inhale once again. We're going to finish this time with the exhale, but recognizing that if this feels comforting, it can feel really helpful to just switch your attention back to breath work sometimes. You could spend longer on that segment and do a little bit of practice like that at home. So I'm going to ask you to rest the arms down beside you, palms facing the ceiling. That allows your shoulders to drop open and your shoulder blades to sink a little bit more comfortably towards the floor. We're going to open the knees. If you were resting them towards one another, bring them now to hip distance apart, planting the feet on the floor and taking care to feel as though you really ground the feet to the floor. Remember, they're important in your practice. You should feel as though you've got weight going through the little toe to the ball of your foot and to the centre of your heel. Checking that you feel as though you've got equal weight on the left and the right foot. From that position, we're going to just talk about the engagement process, which is so important before we move on with your exercises. So the easiest breath work in order to help to engage the tummy is the belly breathing. We want first to check that our rib cage feels connected to the floor and that we're not lying with an arch underneath the spine or the rib cage. We're going to breathe into the belly, allowing it to expand like a balloon. And on the exhale, we think exhale for effort. We draw the tummy muscles around us like cling film shrinking around your middle or curtains closing towards your belly button. And as you do that, if you can include a lift of your pelvic floor muscles, think pulling the tailbone upwards towards the front bone. And then inhale, relaxing all of that, releasing it, allowing your belly to expand. Breathing out, drawing the tummy muscles around you, lifting through the pelvic floor. Exhale for effort. And inhale. Let the breath come in, relax the tummy, relax the pelvic floor. If you want to feel a slightly deeper connection, let's bring the hands in front of you, palm to palm, breathing in as we were, relaxing, keeping the pressure really soft between the palms. And as we exhale, wrapping those tummy muscles around us, think of a corset tightening, press the palms together really firmly, and you should feel that connection strengthens in your core cylinder. Inhale, release that pressure away, and once again, exhale, compress the palms, wrap the core cylinder around you. Think of the curtain closing towards your center line. And then inhale, releasing it away. So that should have given you some confidence in feeling the connection to the core that we're looking for. And we're going to add that now to some movement. So we're breathing in, floating one leg to the tabletop position, 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. And on the exhale, engaging as we've just practiced to lower the leg down, but using that core cylinder to support our spine and support our centre as we lower the weight of the foot. Alternate the leg. Inhale to float the leg to 90 degrees. Exhale, wrapping the cylinder around you, thinking of your curtains closing, your corset wrapping as you lower the foot down. Now we're going to keep that going. I want you to start to become aware of the idea of using the core to a degree that is appropriate. So at this level, we're deliberately keeping it easy, we're keeping it simple. So you don't need to be engaging the core 100% as you do your exhale. So as you're breathing out, lowering that leg down. The core needs to be switching on to a level that is appropriate for that version of exercise. We're going to build on that, so you're welcome to stay at the version that you were doing. But if you feel that you can take yourself a little bit further, we're going to breathe in, floating 1 and then 2 legs to tabletop. Exhale, float the first leg down. Lower through with the second leg, continuing that exhale. Let's alternate to the other leg leading, breathing in. Exhale to lower. Paying attention as you do that exercise to what happens at your spine. You should still feel the connection the whole way through. Your rib cage and your lumbar spine still feeling that they're held in that neutral space, not feeling as though they lift or arch from the floor. And also taking care to just slightly increase the effort that's required at the tummy, but again recognising what level feels right for you. We can take it a step further, finding tabletop as our starting position. Remember, you're welcome to just continue with any of the previous levels. We're going to toe tap, so breath out to tap one toe to the floor. Breath in to pop it back to where it started. Opposite leg to the floor. Inhale, float back, keep it going. We're working on our endurance a little bit here. Let's go for 2 more rounds. Final round. And whatever version you're working on, as you finish, I want you to draw both your knees in towards your chest, bringing them as close to your chest as you can without feeling forceful in that movement. If you choose to, you might prefer to just gently rock from side to side, or you could take the knees, circling them, allowing yourself to massage gently that tension away from your lumbar spine. Allow yourself to replace your feet one by one to the floor. We're going to turn the palms this time, palms to the floor. If you are in your home practice using a block or a cushion behind your head, for this one I'd recommend taking that block away. We're going to make our way towards the spine curl, really focusing on the mobility through the levels of our vertebrae. Breathing in to prepare at the bottom. As we exhale, we're rocking the pelvis backwards as if we're tipping water all over our chest. Building on that, peeling one segment of the spine away from the floor, squeezing through your bottom to lift the hips and pressing through the shoulder blades to give you that stability at the top. Inhale at the top, hold that position secure and safe. And exhale, roll down, dropping through the breastbone, placing the segments of your spine one by one to the floor and finishing at your tailbone. Inhale at the bottom, exhale to roll the spine up, really feeling that you're peeling the spine like a string of beads, lifting one at a time to find that solid position at the top. Remember, we don't want those hips lifting too high, we're not arching the back. Inhale at the top to hold, exhale, release through the spine, dropping from your breastbone, letting each segment roll down. Tailbone is the last thing to the floor. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, rolling up, gripping through your bottom. Give that bottom a squeeze to help with the lift of the hips. And then press or imprint the shoulder blades to the floor as you hold your position at the top. Exhale, release your way down, dropping from the breastbone and letting yourself roll out to the tailbone. Again, I'm going to give you ways to build on this effort. You don't have to add the extras in. Take the fingertips to the ceiling, imprint the shoulder blades to the floor. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, rolling the spine upwards, still really secure and stable, thinking about that spine moving one segment at a time. Inhale at the top. Exhale, dropping the breastbone but not allowing your hands or your fingertips to move and working out to the tailbone. So you're challenging the stability. What was giving you some base of support, you've taken away. Let's go through that again. Breathe out, roll your way up. Remember to feel that strong position at the top, not overworking, not arching or the back or letting the ribs flare. Inhale to hold your position strong. Exhale, drop through the breastbone, peeling the spine down to the floor, to the tailbone. Let the arms come down to rest beside you. Let's move the arms further this time, really thinking about opening up our chest. We know that that's an area that we gain tension in, or we go to our protective postures where the shoulders are rounded, and we want in this restorative session to release that. We're taking the arms beside us to start, but as we exhale and we roll the spines off the floor, we're taking the arms behind us, reaching for the back wall, checking again that we haven't flared the rib cage. We don't want to end up in this overarch. We want to feel strong in the bridge. Inhale at the top, feeling strong. Exhale, releasing your way down, bringing the arms over in an arc beside you to finish as your tailbone hits the floor. Again, working with me. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, roll the spine, peel it one by one from the floor. Reach the arms behind you, feeling as though that allows you to open the chest. Let the chest shine to the ceiling. Inhale at the top, keeping strong and steady. Exhale, rolling down, feeling as though one segment at a time takes itself back to the floor, arms resting beside you. One more of those. Remember, you can choose any of these. If the arms doesn't suit you, carry on with the basic shoulder bridge. That mobility through your spine is so nourishing. It feels familiar, and it allows the back to release tension and learn how to move well again. Let's finish then. When you get back to the bottom, bringing the knees towards the chest, using that time to gently rock or roll the knees if you feel that you want to do that massaging work. We're going to have a change of position in a moment, so as you're ready to, I'm going to ask you to turn onto your sides and then move yourself over to find your all fours position. Now we're going to take ourselves back to child's pose. So if you choose to, if it's more comfortable for you, because that's what today's session is about, you can open the knees wider and let yourself sit between them. For those of you that prefer it, knees together and dropping back. You want to aim to get that tailbone as close to your heels as possible. And we do want to allow the head to settle or rest on the floor. So for some of you that might require the change in position. For others, you might find that you would benefit from a block or a cushion if you've got one, even one of the over balls if you've got one of those Pilates balls at home. But allowing yourself the opportunity to completely rest the head down. Now this is important. We want those neck muscles to be given the opportunity to switch off. And that's really rare for the muscles to do that. Now you'll know a little bit more about your own body. If you know that the stress and tension immediately goes to the neck and the shoulders, then this one for you, you might have to spend a little bit of time really focusing on those muscles, really willing them to turn off and potentially taking your attention back to the breath to really use it as a way of releasing tension. So with that in mind, from child's pose, I'm going to ask you to breathe deeply in through your nose, sending the breath upwards and outwards to the armpits,
Feeling the upper body and the rib cage and the shoulders expand with that breath. Fit as much in as possible. And then release the breath out through the mouth. Feeling as though you feel the change in the shoulders and the upper back as you breathe out. Once again, breathing in, upwards and outwards, really reaching the breath right to the tips of your armpits. And exhale to release the breath completely until you feel you've got no breath left in the body. Now you can choose, if that works for you and you know that's an area that needs attention, carry on. For others, we might notice that it's the lower back that we hold our tension. If you suffer with ongoing back pain, it tends to be that the minute we start to feel anxious, worried, stressed, that the pains that we're familiar with tend to creep up on us. So we're breathing in this time, sending the breath deep into the belly, and you might even feel the belly start to press into your thighs as you fill it with air. As you breathe out through your mouth and noticing that the belly seems to just lift slightly away from the thighs as you do that, you can feel again, hopefully, that changes things around your lumbar spine here, feeling as though that allows you to take the breath to a point of tension, use it to stretch and release, and then let go of the tension. Again, as I said, you can spend more time in these positions if you feel that you want to, and if you're noticing that they're beneficial to you. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to move on to the next position. So I'm bringing you to all fours now. I want your hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips. If your wrists don't like it, you have the option to be on your fists if you need to be. We're breathing in to prepare. As we exhale, breathing out through the mouth, we're scooping the belly button up towards the spine, tucking the tailbone under, tucking the head down, and feeling the back arch like a cat, stretching or arching the back into like a C-shaped curve. As we inhale, we're going to release it all. Let the belly completely relax, switch off, drop to the floor as your tailbone and your head lifts. Exhale, arching the spine, active through the tummy, scooping it to your belly button, squeezing your bottom to tuck your tail down between the knees. And inhale, release. Let it all switch off as you drop through into that arc at the bottom. Once again, taking yourself up into the breath, arching the back, and on the release, think of sliding the shoulder blades down your back, letting them move away, lengthening the neck. I want you to get used to the idea that these are your two extremes of movement, and you're recognizing and you're focusing on what your back can do, noticing where do I feel my limitations and where do I feel restrictions. We're going to allow ourselves then to start to soften the movements a little bit, so we're not going quite as far in each direction until we feel that we come to rest at a midway point, and we call that neutral spine. So we're imagining that being that nice straight line from the chest down to the tailbone, gliding the shoulders away from our ears so we've got that long neck. You want to aim to have your eyes focused on the spot in front of you on the mat rather than looking forwards and bending the neck. We're going to connect to the core again, breathing in, letting the belly expand. As we exhale, we're thinking of wrapping that corset around us, scooping the belly to the spine, but the spine remains in neutral as we reach the arm forwards and away. Send the thumb to the ceiling. Inhale, release the hand down, replace it. Exhale. Inhale, replace, alternating the arms. Exhale, reach the arm, really stretch into the fingertips, work on that fascial release as well. Inhale, bringing yourself back down. Exhale, reaching through the fingertips, think foremost, reaching forwards and then going for the lift.
Don't feel that you have to lift the neck with you. Eyes should still be down somewhere in front of your fingertips on the mat. And gradually finding that connection to the core and feeling that as you move one of those bases of support away from you, you notice that that engages the core that little bit better. So by working the arm in this way, we're actively switching on the muscles behind our shoulder blades. Now they're really important for our posture. If you know that you suffer with rounded shoulders, or you're noticing that you've got shoulders somewhere up around your ears most of the time, these muscles, getting them to work for you so they can hold the shoulders in a better position, give you strength in your upper body, is going to be really beneficial to that upper body posture. We're going to finish with final one. And inhale to release. Drop yourself back to child's pose, releasing the palms, letting the wrists go. And if you can manage to, pop up onto your fingertips and feel that stretch just start to target around the back of the shoulders a little bit more, and potentially even through sort of your armpit region. Couple of those deeper breaths again then. Well done. We're going to turn one last time. We're going to turn onto our left sides, and we're going to finish today with just a little bit of a relaxation pose. You can rest your arm as I am. If you prefer, you can have the hands in front, but you will need a block or a cushion. We don't want your head hanging down. I'm going to ask you to put your right hand on your belly to really zone you in. Breathing in, close your eyes if you need to. Inhale, sending the breath to the belly, letting it expand. Exhale, noticing the belly flattens. You're not joining in with that. You're not trying to switch muscles on. You're just letting breath work do it for you. Inhale again, into the belly and out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep it going, nice steady rhythm. You don't need to be forceful with the breath now. You're just taking the breath in and out steadily, trying to relieve tension. Remembering that it's important to allow the tummy to expand, the muscles to relax. We don't want to walk around all day with those muscles tight and tense. That's not helpful. And zoning yourself in, thinking about the inhale and the exhale, and trying to really focus on how that feels. And letting your body just enjoy that calming connection. And the purpose of our class today has been to really tap into that rest and restore part of the nervous system. So many of us spend our time in that fight or flight response, and we know that that has a negative impact on lots of systems in the body. It can have a negative impact on our pain management. And occasionally just bringing yourself back to a level of rest, restoration, and helping to aid things like sleep, which is so vital for your recovery, for keeping your immune system working, and for keeping those stress and anxiety levels down. That's us done for today. Really well done. Thank you for joining me, and take care.